Look, I'm just going to come out and say it. I am genuinely, deeply thrilled with this new guidance from the Department of Education. Truly, finally, a common-sense move to protect the right to prayer in our public schools.
I'm pleased to announce this morning that the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in our public schools, and it's total protection.
This is not just overdue, it's a vital, righteous counterpunch to what I've seen as a relentless, often insidious assault on religious freedom from the far left. For too long, our schools have been, let's be blunt, sort of captured by secular ideologues, pushing all sorts of anti-Christian agendas, indoctrinating our kids with radical gender theories and critical race nonsense. I mean, they're stripping away the moral bedrock that founded this country. This guidance isn't just about restoring prayer. It's about giving our students and teachers back their voices, their faith, without fear of some woke administrator. I mean, come on, silencing them in the name of a twisted, exclusionary kind of inclusivity. We've seen federal investigations into dozens of universities over anti-Semitic harassment. It's clear, when faith is pushed out, intolerance rushes in. This guidance isn't just policy. It's about reclaiming our Judeo-Christian heritage from the bureaucratic elites who seem to treat faith as, an existential threat to their power.
I'm sorry, but I don't buy that triumphant narrative. What you're celebrating as guidance, I see as a thinly veiled, frankly alarming attempt to chip away at the sacred wall between church and state, a foundational principle enshrined in the Establishment Clause of our First Amendment. This isn't just me saying it. This is, decades of Supreme Court rulings from Engel v. Vitale onward, designed specifically to prevent government-endorsed religion in public institutions. To suggest this empowers students is, disingenuous. It pressures public schools to prioritize Christian prayer, effectively alienating and marginalizing students from incredibly diverse backgrounds. It's a move that risks turning our classrooms into platforms for proselytizing, not places of inclusive education. We've already heard the alarm bells ringing from groups like the ACLU, citing legitimate concerns about coercion and exclusion that will follow. This, to me, is prioritizing a very specific evangelical political agenda over the constitutional protections that ensure all faiths and no faith are treated equally in taxpayer-funded schools. And honestly, it kind of feels like a distraction from the real crises facing our schools, like chronic underfunding and systemic inequities.
Oh, sacred wall, right. Always the wall when it's convenient to exclude faith, isn't it? My friend, you talk about the Establishment Clause, but what about the Free Exercise Clause? You seem to forget individual religious liberty exists. This isn't about the government setting up a church. It's about individual students being able to pray without being treated like they're breaking the law. For years, that wall you're so fond of has been used as a battering ram against faith in public life. Are you truly so terrified of seeing a child voluntarily bow their head in prayer? Because that's what this restores. The right for individuals to express their faith, not for the school to establish one. It sounds to me like you're more afraid of faith having any presence in public life than you are genuinely concerned about constitutional violations.
I come at it from a very different way. The moment the federal government, let me repeat that, the federal government issues guidance on prayer, it carries an inherent weight of endorsement, especially for children. We're not talking about private, personal prayer in a corner, which, has always been protected. We're talking about a directive that in practice will push public schools towards facilitating, organizing, and yes, prioritizing specific forms of prayer, overwhelmingly Christian prayer. And to laughably suggest that individual freedom should come at the cost of creating an exclusionary, potentially hostile environment for non-Christian students or students of no faith is simply unacceptable. Your characterization of public schools as anti-Christian is not only unfair and wildly inaccurate, but it's a cynical political narrative designed to justify this kind of governmental intrusion.
Schools are for education, for critical thinking, for all students, not for advancing one specific religious agenda.
And speaking of correcting governmental overreach,